In this video, I'm going to change the oil and filters in this Hyundai i10. And this is a 2014 i10 with the 1 litre 3-cylinder petrol engine. So first off, let's change the oil, and we can look up the oil specs in the owner's manual in section 8, page 6 and 7. So the 1 litre engine takes 3 litres of oil. The 1.2 engine takes 3.6 litres of oil. We want A5 oil. And here's the viscosities, and for Europe petrol engine 0W40, 5W30 or 5W40. So this is what I bought, Castrol Magnatec 5W30 A5 oil. This engine takes 3 litres, so I've actually bought 6 litres of oil because this is a cheaper way of buying it. A 5 litre and then a 1 litre, so this is going to do me 2 oil changes rather than buying 3 1 litre bottles, because these are quite a lot more expensive than buying the bigger bottle. And then I bought 2 oil filters. This is the MAN W610/7 filter. So again, I bought 2 of these at the same time, so that's going to do me 2 oil changes. So before I get underneath the car, I'm just going to loosen off the filler cap and remove the dipstick a little bit, and that allows the air in. So obviously I've got this up on a lift, but I don't think I've ever seen a vehicle with such easy access to your oil filter, your sump and your drain plug. So this is a nice and easy job to do at home, and you probably don't even need to jack it up, but if you need to get a bit of height, maybe just drive the car on some blocks or bricks on all 4 wheels, keeps it level then, just enough space to get your head under the front there. But obviously be safe when you're working underneath a car. So your drain plug is 17mm. So with the sump plug cracked off, I can unscrew that and let the oil drain into a suitable container. So next we've got to unscrew the oil filter, and I'm using adjustable filter pliers, but to be honest it's a little bit awkward. It would be much easier to have the right tool that you can put a socket on, something like this. And a 64mm version of this, or the adjustable type, would be ideal, and I'll put links to suitable ones in the video description below. I'm struggling to remove this filter with the pliers because this plastic thing is getting in the way. I can't work out what this plastic thing does. It's like a little chute or a funnel. But one of the bolts is half hanging out already, so I suspect this was removed when the last service was done at the Hyundai main dealer. So I'm going to whip this off because it will give me better access to undo the oil filter. So this is that bit of plastic, and I cannot work out what its purpose is. So if you know, let me know in the comments below. So now I can unscrew the filter, and this is the messy bit. So have the oil container beneath you, and then I'll just unscrew this partly and let that drain for a little bit. And now the worst has dribbled out, I'll remove the filter completely. So now you're going to have oil draining out of both the sump and the filter housing. So I'm going to leave this for 15 minutes or so to properly drain while I make a cup of tea. So ideally you should change the sump plug washer each time, and this is an M14 sump plug, and the washer is an M14 by 20mm. So I've got a set of aluminium sump plug washers, and I think I got this on Amazon, but I'll put a link to something similar in the video description below. And I need an M14 by 20mm washer. So now that's all dripped out, we can clean up the filter surfaces there with a bit of clean tissue, and where the sump plug is going to go back on. And then we can put the sump plug in. And this needs tightening up to between 34 and 44 Newton meters. So before we put the filter on, we can fill the filter up with oil, because this filter is going to be hanging, so the oil isn't going to drain out. And rub a little bit of that oil around the rubber seal as well with your fingertip. So then we can put that filter on, and you do this up just hand tight. Get 2 hands on there and just do that up as tight as you can with your hands, and that's enough. And if you've taken this plastic thing off, remember to put that back on as well. So now we can put the remainder of the oil in the engine, which is 3 litres in the case of this 1 litre engine. And then, so now I've just got to pour in 2 litres out of this bigger 5 litre bottle. So that's the oil filled up and got the engine running to get the oil circulated, and then I can turn the engine off, leave it for 15 minutes to let all that drain down into the sump, and then check the oil level and top up if needed. And then while the engine is off, we can fill up the washer bottle, check brake fluid level and coolant level, and then we'll take out this air filter. On that radiator expansion bottle, it is a little bit difficult to see where your levels are. You'd expect the lines to be on this side where you can see, but it's actually on this side behind this hose. But if you shine a torch in there, it's a little bit easier to see that minimum and maximum line. So to open up the air filter housing, take that clip off there, that clip off there, and then we need to undo this inlet hose here. And we've got this Jubilee clip where you can use a Phillips screwdriver or a socket on there and undo that clip, which I've already removed. Make sure that's free, and then wiggle that hose so you can get that off there, which you really need 2 hands. A bit awkward for me doing this while holding a camera, but that should then come up like that. And we're just taking this air box off like that, and in there is your air filter. So in this case, this air filter wasn't changed too long ago, so I'm not actually replacing it, but I will vacuum up any debris in there first. And then obviously it's the opposite. To put all of this back, just make sure those go into the hooks at the back like that. Get this hose lined up and on, clamp that back up, put those 2 clips back on, that's done. So at this stage you're probably going to want to check your oil level, so give the dipstick a wipe. Put that back in without getting any dirt on the end. And then check the oil level. And this is spot on. It's a bit difficult to see when the oil is so clean. But yeah, that's right on the full mark. You've got a low mark and a full mark with a little indentation in the stick. So yeah, I might just put a splash more in there, but that's pretty much on the full level. So next is the cabin filter or pollen filter, and on Hyundai and Kia cars this is really easy because they put it behind the glove box. They make it so much easier than other cars. So first off, we've got to empty the glove box of its contents, and then you have to push or pull on both sides to pull the stoppers in past the indentations on the dash. You need 2 hands for that. Like that. And then the cabin filter is in here behind this flap, so we can pull that open there, remove that cover, and this is the cabin filter in here. So you can slide that out like that. So with all these filters, I will put the original Hyundai part number in the video description below, and some links to compatible filters that you can buy cheaply off Amazon. So in this case, I don't have another cabin filter ready to put in this car, so I've just vacuumed that out and I'm going to put it back in. But we can take a note here where the airflow is. We've got the arrows going down. because the air is coming from the top of the car that way. So we can slide that back up in there like that, and then we've got to get the end there hooked in on the far side like that. Just make sure that's locked in on the far end and then hooked up like that, and then put the glove box back, put the rubbish back in there, and that bit's done. So the final thing to do after changing the oil is to reset the service reminder on the dash. So with the ignition on, you then use the trip button and you keep scrolling through until you've got the service up there on the screen, and then you push and hold the reset button until the service starts flashing. There, I then release it and I push and hold it again, and now I can release the button. So that's now reset to 10,000 miles and 365 days, therefore a year. So when I start the car, it's now staying on the service light, and that's because I need to press the trip again to move that round to whatever screen I want it to stay on. So that's it, that's the service done. All I'm going to do now is vacuum out the inside, because this is my daughter's car, and unless I do it, it will never get cleaned. So I'll put all the links to products, items, specifications and everything like that in the video description below. And if you found this video useful or helpful, please do click the thumbs up, that really does help. And also in the video description below will be a link to a playlist where you can see other videos I've made on this Hyundai i10. The videos I make on this channel are primarily to help others and share knowledge. If you found a video helpful, please show your appreciation by at least clicking the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too, as does subscribing to the channel. All of this is free of charge. I do not use paid memberships or Patreon, which is how most YouTubers earn their money. I only earn from the YouTube ad commissions. But under every video on this channel is a super thanks button. So if you found a video particularly useful, or maybe it saved you money or time, then please consider a donation using the super thanks button. You could buy me a coffee, a pint, or contribute to the running cost of this channel. There's over 1100 videos on this channel now, so please have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists.